Hello everyone, in this video I am going to tell a story about how thoughts affect karma. Thank you for watching my Bhagavad Gita videos, and before we start with the story, I will tell a small recap of what happened so far. I finished 13 chapters until now, and the name of the 13th chapter is Nature, the Enjoyer and Consciousness. Firstly, Arjuna requested Lord Krishna to take his chariot between both the armies which were ready to fight. And upon seeing his relatives, friends, and teachers in both armies ready to fight and sacrifice their lives, he was overcome by grief and pity, and he was worried to kill his relatives, teachers, and friends. And Arjuna dropped his bow and told Lord Krishna that he did not want to fight. Next, he submits to Lord Krishna as his disciple and asks him to dispel his confusion. Lord Krishna tells Arjuna that everyone existed all since the beginning of creation, and they're not the body but the soul inside the body, and that the soul does not die. And Lord Krishna explains to Arjuna that karma binds one to the material world, or karma can liberate him from the world. He also tells him about the history of the Bhagavad Gita, and that he told the Bhagavad Gita first to Vivaswan, the sun god, and Vivaswan told it to Manu, and Manu told it to his son Ikshvaku. When this chain was broken, Lord Krishna appeared again and told it to Arjuna. He also said that whenever there is a rise in irreligion, and when there is no religion at all, he himself descends in his own transcendental form to re-establish religion, to protect the pious and annihilate the miscreants. And Lord Krishna says that outwardly performing all actions, but inwardly renouncing all the fruits, the wise man, purified by the fire of knowledge, attains peace, detachment, forbearance, and spiritual vision. In chapter 6, Lord Krishna tells Arjuna about Ashtanga Yoga, which is a meditative practice. In chapter 7, Lord Krishna tells this that he is the supreme truth, the cause and sustaining force of everything, both material and spiritual. He, Next, he tells him how, by remembering Lord Krishna throughout one's life, especially at the time of death, one can attain to Lord Krishna's supreme abode, which is beyond the material creation. He also tells the most confidential knowledge that Lord Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead and is the supreme object of worship, and the soul is eternally related to him, and that the duty of the soul is devotional service. And by reviving one's pure devotion, the soul can return to Krishna in the spiritual world. Next, Lord Krishna says that everything showing power, beauty, or anything which is great just comes from Krishna, and that Krishna is the source of all opulences in the world. He also tells about his own opulences. In chapter 11, the universal form, Arjuna requests to see Lord Krishna's universal form. Lord Krishna so grants Arjuna divine vision, and he shows him the universal form. In that form, Arjuna sees all the warriors on both sides entering into Lord Krishna's mouths and dying. Lord Krishna then shows Arjuna his original four-handed form, and at last showed his original two-armed form, and Arjuna was encouraged. Next, Bhakti Yoga, the pure devotional service to Lord Krishna, is the highest and best means to attain him. And in the 13th chapter, he says that one who can understand the difference between the soul, the supersoul, and the body can attain liberation from this material world. Now, let us start with the story. Once, Lord Krishna and Arjuna were walking along the streets of Hastinapur for leisure time, since they were very dear friends. And they came across a beggar who was begging on the street. Arjuna felt pity for the beggar, and he asked him why he was begging. The beggar told that he did not have any money and he had to beg from people for the upkeep of his family. Arjuna felt bad for him and gave him a bag of gold coins for him to live happily with his family for the rest of his life. The beggar happily took the bag of gold coins and he felt that he could live very happily with his family. And while he was walking home with the bag of gold coins, thinking about how he could live happily, a thief came and snatched the bag of gold coins from him and escaped. The beggar felt very sad and he went back to begging. After a few days, Lord Krishna and Arjuna again came across that beggar, and Arjuna asked him why he was begging again, and if the gold coins he had given were not enough. The beggar told everything that had happened. This time, Arjuna gave him a diamond so that he could sell it and get money and live happily for the rest of his life. The beggar took the diamond and he thought about how he could live happily with his family. And he went home and he hid the diamond in a pot in his house and then slept. And the next day morning, the beggar got up and searched for the diamond. But the diamond was nowhere to be found, and so was the pot. He asked his wife where the pot was, and she told him that she had taken the pot to fetch water in the morning. The, the beggar told that there was a diamond inside that pot. The wife said that she did not know and that he could have told her that there was a diamond in that pot. He went to the river and searched for the diamond, but it was lost. He was very sad and he went back to begging. After a few days, Lord Krishna and Arjuna again saw him. Arjuna asked him why he was begging again, and the beggar told the whole incident that had happened. This time, Arjuna gave him only 2 gold coins, knowing that they would be lost one way or another. And the beggar also did not have any hopes for these 2 gold coins, and he went home. While he was going home, a fisherman was about to kill a fish and sell it. The beggar felt very bad for that fish and he did not want it to die. So he used those 2 gold coins and bought that fish and put it in a pot in his house, a pot of water. His wife noticed that the fish was feeling restless in the pot and called the beggar. The beggar saw that and they both started screaming for help. Just then, the thief who had stolen the bag of gold coins was in his house. He thought that the beggar and his wife were screaming because they knew that he was inside their house and they were calling the guards. He went to the beggar and returned the bag of gold coins and told him not to call the guards. The beggar was surprised. And later, when they checked in the fish's mouth, the diamond which Arjuna had given him was in the mouth. The wife and the beggar were shocked to see that the bag of gold coins and the diamond had come back to them. The beggar happily went to Arjuna and told him everything that had happened. Arjuna was very confused and shocked, and he asked Lord Krishna why this was happening. Lord Krishna explained, "O Arjuna, when you gave him the bag of gold coins and the diamond, he was only thinking about his and his family's welfare. But when you gave him the 2 gold coins, the beggar was thinking about the welfare and the life of the fish. So he wanted to save the fish. And he was filled with good thoughts for that fish. That is why when he was thinking about good for that fish, everything good came back to him. Whereas when he was thinking about himself and his family, the diamond and the gold coins were lost one way or another." The moral of this story is thoughts affect karma. If you think good thoughts, that good will come back to you in one way or another. But if you think bad thoughts or selfish thoughts, the bad will come back to you. Thank you for watching, and I will begin Bhagavad Gita chapter 14, the 3 modes of material nature, in the next video.